Hi guys, so it's been a crazy day here for me, but I wanted to make sure we didn't fall too far behind on our Ready Freddy book. I believe in Save the Earth, we were on chapter 6, which is Worms and Trash. In our last chapter, they were planting trees and Mrs. Whooshy asked them to save all of their trash from lunch and to bring it back to the classroom. So we're gonna read chapter 6 and see what that's all about. It's called Worms and Trash. When the bell rang for the end of lunch, Chloe was about to throw out all her trash. "Wait," said Jessie, pulling her back from the trash can. "Remember Mrs. Whooshy said we're supposed to bring all of our trash back to the classroom." "But it's sticky and gross, and it's going to make my lunchbox all stinky," said Chloe, wrinkling up her nose. "You're such a princess," said Jessie, shaking her head. "Just give me your trash. I'll carry it for you." When we got back to the classroom, Mrs. Whooshy had put some newspaper down on the floor. "Please put your lunch trash on these papers," she said. We all pulled out the trash and piled it up on the floor. "Wow, that's a lot of trash," said Jessie. "You can say that again," I said. "Think about what you throw away every day at lunch," said Mrs. Whooshy. "My sandwich bag," said Jessie. "My wrapper from my granola bar," I said. "My napkin," said Max. "I didn't even know he used a napkin," I whispered to Jessie. Jessie giggled. "The bag from my chips," said Robbie. "Now think about how much trash every school collects in one day," said Mrs. Whooshy. "All of that goes into a landfill." "What's a landfill?" said Chloe. "It's a big hole in the ground where we throw all the trash and the garbage people collect," Mrs. Whooshy said. "There are a lot of landfills," said Robbie. "Yes, there are," said Mrs. Whooshy. "If we aren't careful, soon our planet will be covered in trash, and this trash pollutes the air and water." "That's disgusting," said Chloe. "But what can we do?" said Jessie. "All of this trash does not have to go into the landfill," said Mrs. Whooshy. "What do you mean?" said Max. "Well, some of this stuff can be recycled," said Robbie. "Now you're on the right track," said Mrs. Whooshy. "If you have anything that can be recycled, then put it over here on this paper." "Oh, I have a water bottle," Max said. I leaned over to Robbie and whispered, "I brought a reusable water bottle today. That's number 4 on the challenge list." "Me too," Robbie whispered back. "I have the plastic container for my applesauce," said Jessie. Max poked Chloe. "Hey, Ding Dong, you have something that goes in the recycling pile." "Keep your dirty little hands off me," said Chloe. "None of my trash can be recycled." "Yes, it can," said Max. "Oh, yeah? What?" said Chloe, glaring at Max. Your yogurt container?" "No, it can't." "Yes, it can." "No, it can't." "Yes, it can." "Enough, you two," said Mrs. Whooshy. "Yes, Chloe, your yogurt container can be recycled." "Well, my mom never recycles them at home." "Now that you know it can be recycled," said Mrs. Whooshy, "you can tell your mom." Jessie picked up the container and put it in the recycling pile. "Thank you, Jessie," said Mrs. Whooshy. Jessie smiled. "No problem. This is fun." "Now, is there anything else we can do with this trash?" asked Mrs. Whooshy. We all stared at Mrs. Whooshy and shook our heads. Well, all of us except Robbie, the science genius. "We could compost some of this stuff," said Robbie. "Hey, brain," said Max. "What's compost?" "You'd like it," said Robbie, "because composting uses worms." "Cool," said Max. "Ew," said Chloe. "I hate worms." "But they help make the soil really good for planting," said Robbie. "That's right," said Mrs. Whooshy. "If you have a compost bin, then you can throw some of your food trash in there, like this leftover sandwich crust or this banana peel." "But isn't that just like throwing it away?" I said. "Not exactly," said Mrs. Whooshy. "If you throw the food scraps in the compost, then the worms break down the food and use it to make really rich soil that's good for your garden." I actually have a compost right on the side of my yard, and we get really good soil from all of the food scraps that we put in there and the dry leaves and the grass clippings, and we toss it. And in the beginning of every season, like in the spring or beginning of the summer when we're doing our flower beds, we take all of that really good soil and we add it to our gardens. "Cool," said Max. "I wish I could see one." "If you want to make a small compost bin for our classroom, I can show you how to do that tomorrow," said Mrs. Whooshy. "Yes, yes, yes," we all said. They are really very easy to make. I'll bring in the bin. The bottom has to be lined with newspaper, so if you could all bring in some newspaper to make the worm bedding, that would be great. "I have lots of newspaper in my recycling bin at home," I said. "Me too," said Robbie. "Besides," said Mrs. Whooshy, "recycling is number 1 on the Earth Day challenge list. If you bring in newspaper, then you are one step closer to becoming a member of the green team. Remember, the challenge ends tomorrow." The challenge. I was having so much fun today, I almost forgot about the challenge. Time was running out, and I still had 4 more things to do. Chapter 7 is Reduce, Reuse, and Recycle. Do you think Freddy's going to do it? Do you think he's going to make it happen? He only has 4 more left. He's been doing a pretty good job, so I'm pretty confident that he's going to be a member of that green team. All right, so have chapter 7 tomorrow. I believe we have 8 chapters, so 2 more chapters left, and this might be our last Ready Freddy book of the year because it's the last one that I have. But I hope you enjoyed it and keep reading. And I'll check you guys later. Bye.